Welcome to the Munro Review, where it's all about connecting, sharing, and valuing the arts in the Central San Joaquin Valley. I'm Donald Munro, and as you can tell, this is a very special episode because I got dressed up. One thing's for sure, this is the first time I've ever worn a mask with a tuxedo. Tonight, I'm at the Second Space Theater in the heart of the Tower District, hosting We're Still Here, a program devoted to Fresno's beloved Good Company players. The pandemic has been brutal to arts organizations, and live theater has been particularly hard hit. GCP wants people to know that it isn't going anywhere. We have an amazing lineup of performers and interviews to make that very point. First, let's welcome Dan Pessano, co-founder and managing director of GCP, for an official introduction to the evening. Well, this is actually a really special night. We are standing here at the Second Space Theater. This space has not had performers on it in quite a long time.
Been very quiet. It's a very naked space right now, so welcome to the naked Second Space.
Well, thank you. So tell us, what can we expect this evening?
Well, 8 of our blockbuster performers have, at correct distances, gathered to perform for us tonight some of their favorite songs, but more importantly, a reminder to the audience that how important performance is, and hopefully a reminder to the audience that somewhere in the last year or so they've seen live performance, and we want them to miss it. But every performance they've seen, that arts organization needs their support right now. So we're kind of hoping our performances will remind them to be involved with their favorite group.
Now, performers, they need to perform. You have to, there's just something in them, right? And it's almost like a muscle that you have to exercise. What has it been like for you and your fellow performers to not be able to do this?
Well, performing, there aren't a lot of times that you're a solo performer. It's very social. The relationship between cast and crew is very family-like. So one of the hardest things is just not getting to hug each other, just not being close enough to support each other, not hearing the news in everybody's life that you can make better by hugging them. I think that's one of the things. As far as the actual performance time, I think you could sing at home and sing in the bathtub, but without an audience, especially in the bathtub, without an audience, it's not the same chemical balance, or without other performers, it's not. So I think all of the performers tonight are going to thank you for inviting them, in fact, to be part of the show, to sing something they've been wanting to sing for a while.
Well, I just know that I am so excited as an audience member to be able to experience the thrill of live performance. There's just something about being there in the same room when it happens.
In the same room, and the cliche is, without an audience, it's a rehearsal. And we're going to do our best with this performance tonight to get through the lens, get to you as an audience at home, to remind you and have you spread the word that you're missing the arts and we all have to support each other to get them back.
And I like what you have to say about this idea of supporting all of the arts. I mean, we're all hurting. Theater, museums,
Absolutely.
Orchestra, Fresno Philharmonic, they all need our support.
Absolutely. And to be in the final tier and even have your own mention for us, live theater is at the bottom of the list. I think maybe massage parlors are after us. It's hard, that's hard. And any gathering inside is going to be at risk for a while. So in the meantime, the bills don't stop. Your support from the audience and your support in talking about all of the arts keeps the ball in play, and I think that's the vitality of what the community needs.
Well, I'm excited. Without further ado, let's get the show rolling.
Okay,
and
you have the first introduction.
Okay.
Welcome to the Naked Second Space.
Thank you very much.
Your tux is incredible.
Your tux is incredible too. Thank you.
Here's Donald.
And we are going to welcome for our first performer, Emma DenBesten, who's going to sing How Are Things in Glockamora.
I hear a bird, a Glockamora bird. It well may be it's bringing me a cheering word. I feel a breeze, a river Shannon breeze. It well may be it's followed me across the seas. Then tell me, please, how are things in Glockamora? Is that little brook still leaping there? Does it still run down to Donny Cove, through Killybegs, Kildare and Kildare? How are things in Glockamora? Is that willow tree still weeping there? Does that laddie with the twinkling eye come whistling by? And does he walk away sad and dreamy there, not to see me there? So I ask each weeping willow and each brook along the way, and each lad that comes a-whistling to Riley. How are things in Glockamora this fine day?
Emma, thank you so much. That was beautiful. We don't get to travel right now, but you took us to Ireland. Just gorgeous.
Thank you.
So tell us a little just about your thoughts and your favorite memories from GCP.
Yeah, one of my most cherished memories, probably of all time, not just GCP, was the closing day of Mamma Mia. And you know, the runs here are long, so before closing weekend, I was like, okay, like I'm ready to move on to whatever's next. I'm ready to let go of Mamma Mia. Didn't think I was going to get emotional on closing, but I did. And you know, Dan gave a speech before, and I was just so sad to not be seeing the cast every day. And right when I came off stage after singing Slipping Through My Fingers with Emily, which is already an emotional song about dealing with change and, you know, having to say goodbye, the cast had formed a little tunnel for me to walk through as I came off stage. And I just felt so cared for and supported, and I cherish that so much. I mean, I'm missing up just thinking about it, but like,
And you're going to make me cry too. So.
the bonds that you create when you're in shows with people like that, you know, they really transcend normal acquaintanceships or friendships. It's really special.
What was it like in there to stand in front of that microphone and to sing with the spotlight hitting you?
Yeah, when the spotlight hit, it was just like, it's like a different kind of vitamin D I didn't know I'd been missing. You know, when you're under the lights, you can't see the audience as much. And when I first stood under them, I felt it was almost like I was performing again. And then I didn't really realize the audience wasn't there until I started singing. And then when I first started singing, I missed the audience.
Well, it was beautiful.
It was close but not quite, and I'm really happy I got at least that little taste of performing.
Well, thank you so much. So up next, we are going to hear from Peter Allwine, who is going to sing A Corner of the Sky from Pippin.
Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. So why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. So many men seem destined to settle for something small, but I won't rest until I know I have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. And far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky.
So Peter, that was wonderful. I'm curious, have you ever been in Pippin?
I have not. I feel like that's one of those shows that sadly doesn't get done too often, but oh, it's so good.
And so this was a chance to kind of
Just
live
come in
through
and
that.
Sing it for fun, yeah. It's
So
awesome.
when I say GCP, what comes to mind? Is there any particular memory or?
GCP to me is 18 years of my life that were absolutely amazing. To me, like, the theater here will always be a second family. GCP is my home, and man, I miss home. I do a lot. I miss performing. I miss the people here, like my fellow actors, the folks at the music hall when you go upstairs, like in between scenes and stuff, chatting with them. We had such an amazing family here, and I still do, and I miss them greatly.
And we should say that we shared the stage together for one night.
Yes,
one night
sadly only
when
one night
when
only.
They had me playing a little old lady and the producers. What a great show. That was like
fun.
one of your best roles.
Thank you. That was a tremendous amount of fun to be able to share the stage with my best friend Darren Tharp and do like that nightly for months. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Well, thank you, Peter, for being with us today.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And up next, we have Ed Burke.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. Oh, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world, but I see clouds of gray, clouds of white, long days of summer, dark sacred nights. When I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? What they really saying is, I love you. Are your babies crying? I watch them grow. They'll learn much more I'll ever know. When I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yeah, patapo-de-ba-ba-die. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. Oh, in other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Hey, in other words, I love you.
Ed, that was a beautiful performance, and thank you so much for being here. We're at the Second Space Theater tonight, and you have spent a lot of time here. You actually have been in Driving Miss Daisy twice. Is that the case?
That's correct. First time I did it was, I think it was 92. Well, it's over 25 years ago, because when I redid the role, it was right at 25 years. And so this place has a special feeling about it, because I felt really good about both productions, and so it's always feels good when I come back here.
What does good company mean to you?
Home, friendship, memories. I was in the original company in 1973, and it was just a bunch of ex-college classmates getting together trying to see if we could do something for one summer. And here, 40-something years later, the name is still there, and I've got a chance to be involved off and on for over 40 years.
Well, it's a great legacy, and thank you again for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So we are going to hear next from Camille Gaston, and she is going to sing the song Random Black Girl.
I'm not like the other girls in this show. I'm something of a sore thumb. I'm starting to think that I'm different. And I suspect I know how come. My complexion stands out, and my voice does as well. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm black as hell. It's an obligatory part of every new musical. It's the random black girl singing the soul. Every show must have an ensemble. Without it, things wouldn't be right. And every crowd needs at least one person who doesn't happen to be white. And that girl is usually me. Seems like I'm just filling a quota. And every time I ever have lines, they yes sir and yes sir and no sir. When it comes to the plot, I play no significant role. I'm just a random black girl singing the soul. And I conduct with my hands, and I squinch up my eyes, and then I'll open my mouth unbelievably wide. And at the end of the song, when it's time to let go, I'll give him a dose of my crazy vibrato. Why can't I be cast for a part in the color purple instead of the random black girl singing the soul? Terry Lewis gave me advice. Those words I'll never forget. He said, don't think you'll ever be cast as Eponine or Cosette. Well, I guess things always could be worse when it comes to my Broadway station. At least I'm not cursed enough to have been born Asian. Then I'd be stuck in Miss Saigon dancing on a pole instead of the random black girl singing the soul. Designer can't like me, director don't know my name, and the makeup artist thinks that we all wear the same shade, and the stage manager thinks I got too much sass, and the costumer don't know what to do with my big old black hair. Maybe I should audition for American Idol. They love the random black girl singing the soul, singing the soul. Well, what does this song change? Well, not a relevant thing, but you gotta be thinking to yourself, goddamn, this is the cat song! Don't you hate when songs are so self-referential? I'm just a random black girl singing a don't stop me now, cause baby, I'm on a roll. I'm just a random black girl singing. I can make an entire phrase out of one syllable. I'm just a random black girl singing, singing, singing.
Camille, thank you so much. That was so funny. And it's so fun to hear a new song.
Yeah.
So you have been in Good Company Productions, like so many that I can't even, they're all like flooding through my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Is there one that is sort of a favorite or one that stands out if someone just says, what's a Good Company show that you love?
Sister Act, for sure. That was one of my favorite theater experiences at Roger Rocca's. It was my first lead role, and it wasn't my favorite just because of that. It was really fun to play Dolores, but mainly the reason why it's my favorite is because the ensemble, everyone involved, we were so committed, and we were the show had heart, and we loved each other. And I think that's what made it an amazing show. So.
And that's one thing that people have been mentioning all day is the fact that the GCP is like a family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been a part of this family it'll be 12 years in January, so yeah.
So you were actually scheduled to be in the show that would have played in December, Elf, because you played it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it had to be canceled because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
What is it like for you not being able to perform?
It is sad, but at the same time, it's a little bit of, it's nice to not be performing just for a little bit, but I know the itch to want to perform is going to come soon, but I've been doing it so often that it's been a nice little break, but I know probably by next year I'm gonna be ready to do something.
We're gonna see you in a bunch of shows in a row.
Probably.
Well, thank you, Camille, so much. You really pepped up our evening there with that song.
Yay.
Very fun.
Thank you.
So next we are going to hear from Sara Price, who is going to sing "When She Loved Me."
When somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. Every hour we spent together lived within my heart. And when she was sad, I was there to comfort her. And when she was happy, so was I. When she loved me, through the summer and the fall, we had each other, that was all. Just she and I together, like it was meant to be. And when she was lonely, I was there to comfort her, and I knew that she loved me. So the years went by, I stayed the same, but she began to drift away. I was left alone. Still I waited for the day when she'd say, I will always love you. Lonely and forgotten, never thought she'd look my way. And she smiled at me and held me just like she used to do. Like she loved me when she loved me. when somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. Every hour we spent together lives within my heart. When she loved me.
Sara, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, there's something that I want to bring up because you've always been in my mind since we did an interview for Into the Woods. I love that interview, and I don't know if we ever really talked after that.
We didn't get to as much as I
Right,
wanted to.
but it was beautiful. What do you remember about that show and what the message?
I loved doing Into the Woods. I love anything with fairy tale. I'm an English teacher, so it's kind of my day job as well. But it's part of why I became a teacher, is because I think stories are more real than reality in a lot of ways. I think we're living the metaphor, and that's actually the truth. So we find out a lot about who we are in exploring those. And I feel like Stephen Sondheim really allowed himself to explore that without trying to understand it completely all the time. So he let some questions just remain questions. But in it, he shows children do listen to this because it's all of us. This is what we all need to hear. We all need to explore that. We all need to go on that journey. And I thought that was really important, and I loved being a part of it.
So is the witch in Into the Woods, is that one of your favorite GCP roles?
Easily, although it's hard to say, because with GCP, there's the great roles that you play, and then there's the fun you have with your cast. So sometimes those two align perfectly, and it's like these were all the perfect people that I love to spend time with, and then other times there's a great role, but it wasn't a great cast, or there was a great cast, but no one cared about the show very much. You just loved being a part of it. That one I had both. I had all these people that I loved. One of my best friends was in it, Emily, and I got to do things with people I loved, and I got to do a role I loved. So that was just all the stars aligning, and I liked that.
What does GCP mean to you?
It's been my home in the Central Valley. I was raised in Bakersfield, and then I went away to school, and to Orange County, and I chose to come to Fresno because I liked the Central Valley, so I chose to come back. But I didn't really know anyone. I wasn't brought up here. I didn't have kind of a set home world. You know, this is my high school that I went to. This is my world, like a lot of people seem to in Fresno. But GCP became that very quickly. And it was just, it not only opened doors for me, I think I got most of the jobs I got in my life because of people I knew through GCP, but also it was just family. It was my family that was here. They still are.
Well, it's great to see you, and I can't wait till we all get to see you on stage again.
Thank you. I miss it a lot. So thank you so much.
So coming up next, we're going to be hearing from Jim Irvine, who is going to sing Summer Song.
Hey.
When I was a young man courting the girls, I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curls, I'd let the old world take a couple of whirls. But as time went around, she came my way. As time went around, she came. Oh, it's a long, long time from May to December, but the days grow short when you reach September, when the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame. One hasn't got time for the waiting game. All the days dwindle down to a precious few. September, and these few precious days I'll spend with you. These golden days I'll spend with you.
Jim, thank you so much. That was beautiful. What can you tell us about that song? What does it mean to you?
That song is an old favorite of mine from many, many, many years. And it's one of those songs that I think once you've lived a while, it makes even more sense. It means more to you. It means more the longer you're together with a woman like my wife, who has just been a godsend to me. And we've been together 35 years, and I wouldn't trade her for anything. And I really would like to have dedicated the song to her, but I wasn't able to do that in there. But that's what it was about.
After the fact,
After the fact, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful song. It's has such a wonderful, wonderful message about getting older and taking on life as an older person. You know, I'm in my 80s, and you know, I've lived a long, long time, and I've lots of experiences, and so that song just, you know, kind of ties things together for me.
Now, you have lived a long, long life, and you've seen a lot of Good Company shows.
I have seen a lot of
and
Good
you
Company.
really have been missing the theater.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's, you know, not only the performances, because they're so wonderful, both here at Second Space and at Roger Rocca's, but I also have the privilege of working on props for the show, and I've really missed that, because lets me get my the imagination working as to how to make things.
And I understand you had some great props in Spam a lot.
Oh yeah, we had some great times.
The Black Knight, right?
Yeah, the Black Knight. Yeah, the arms falling off. That was a lot of fun. That was a kick. But yeah, I really, really miss it. I keep in touch with Dan a lot, and we kind of mourn the fact that we're not able to do all this kind of stuff. But you know, all the theaters are having the same problem. They're all struggling the same way. And I think that, you know, there's got to be a way that we can help in this situation. And I understand that on the website, on the Roger Rocca's or Good Company Players website, is a link to where it says if you want to help or if you can help. So I would suggest that anybody who has the inkling to do so, that you go on the website, click on it, and see if you can help in some way. They're struggling financially, and that's just all there is to it.
Well, thank you, Jim, and thank you for caring so much about theater in Fresno.
Thank you, Donald, and we appreciate it very much.
This one's from Carly. GCP was my first theater home as a performer, and going back there, whether backstage or in the audience, still feels like going home. Thank you to all of the wonderful GCP folks for all you do. Hang in there. So many of us love you and miss you and can't wait to see you back on the other side of this pandemic.
Jay Daniel says, I have always enjoyed directing at GCP. I always felt supported by everyone there during the process for the 7 productions I have directed. Thank you, GCP, and I can't wait for your return.
Anjali says, GCP is where I fell in love with theater. I remember seeing Cats and being in awe of the talent on our hometown stage. I miss all of the magic of theater and hope to see everyone soon. Heart emoji, smiley face hug emoji, theater mask emoji, music emoji.
I peer through windows, watch life go by. I dream of tomorrow and wonder why the past is holding me, keeping life at bay. I wander lost in yesterday, wanting to fly, but scared to try. But if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing, and I'd feel so alive many secrets I've longed to share. All I have needed is someone there, a way to see a world I've never seen before, a love to open every door, to set me free, so I can soar. If someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. There'd be a new way to live and a new life to love. If someone like you found me, oh, if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing and I'd feel so alive. If someone like you loved me. Loved me. Loved me.
Ashley, thank you so much. All I can say is, wow, that was an exquisite performance.
Thank
What
you
can you
so
tell us
much.
about that song?
I have used it a few times in auditions, and I love anything that just moves me, and that song is one of those songs that moves me. It's from Jekyll and Hyde, the musical, and when I was in high school, for like a period of time, we got obsessed with that show in drama, and everyone
And this was at
Clovis East.
Clovis
High School,
East, okay.
yes. And so everyone was singing songs from it, and I think, gosh, I don't even remember how it came about, because I know I didn't personally I don't think I got to sing that one personally, but it just became a song that I was like, ooh, I like this, and I feel it. And so, yeah, I love the message. I mean, it's about this woman who just her life is crazy, and she doesn't have a whole lot of hope, but she sees this man and she thinks, like, if someone like you could love me, then maybe I could have a different future than what I'm on the path to right now. And so,
Well, I think you really hit on almost the essence of musical theater when you just said, I feel it, because
Yeah.
we felt that.
oh,
So you are an interesting case because you are a member of GCP, but you haven't actually performed.
no.
Tell us about that. How did that situation come about?
So I have wanted to audition for Good Company Players for like pretty much my whole life, like as long as I can remember since I was a little girl. And I was always just so terrified to come and audition. And so I waited and waited until I was 31, and I finally decided to do it. And then, so I got cast as Anna in The King and I. It was such an honor, and got to go through rehearsals, got to get to Tech Week, and got to perform on the stage 1 or 2 times, and then COVID had already began, but the shutdown wasn't as intense at the time. And then the week we were supposed to start, they decided to go ahead and not do it, just to be safe and honor the guidelines and everything. So,
Well,
yeah.
we are crossing our fingers that someday, somehow,
Yes.
we'll get you up there on stage as Anna,
Yes.
because I'm sure it
That
would be
would be-
wonderful.
Thank
you so much for joining us tonight. It
Of
really adds a
course.
lot.
Thank you.
Casey says, when I moved back to the area, I was cast in one of my favorite roles at Second Space, Mrs. Chevrolet in An Ideal Husband. At our closing strike, Dan said, "Welcome home," and I almost started bawling. GCP is never far from my heart.
Danielle says, I saw my first GCP show when I was 4. My family had taken me to see Annie for my birthday. I was obsessed with the movie, so the musical made it feel so real to me. I wanted to sing and dance just like them. I was 18 when I started doing shows with GCP. It was magical to be on the stage where I first remember seeing a show that was a memorable moment in my childhood.
Jennifer said, I do have to add one more tidbit. My all-time favorite audition. It was for the role of Frau Blücher in Young Frankenstein, or should I say Frankenstein. I knew competition for the role was going to be tough. Under the guidance of our beloved vocal coach Judith, I chose Someday My Prince Will Come. However, I gave it a little tweak, threw in a crude German accent and a Frau attitude, and it became Someday mein Prinzin will come. It worked. Loved the show. Every night it was a joy to bring Frau to life.
Light and the spirit of life calling Mommy light and the voice with the fear of a child answers, oh Mommy light. There's no mountain too great. Hear these words and have faith. Hear these words and have faith. Have faith. They live in you. They live in me. They're watching over everything we see, in every creature, in every star, in your reflection. They live in you. Oh, they live in you. They live in me. They're watching over everything we see, in every creature, in every star, in your reflection. They live in you.
Well, thank you, Christian, so much. That was a beautiful performance.
Thank you.
It's a great song, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
So you got your start at Good Company years ago.
I did, yeah.
What was that first show that you were in?
The Wiz. Oh, The Wiz, 11 years ago, 2009.
What a great show.
Yeah.
And so Dan Pessano directed that.
He did. I had heard a lot about him. And so to be in my first show at Roger Rockets and he's directing it, that was really huge for me.
And what role did you play? And what do you remember about that show?
I played The Wiz.
Okay.
And what I remembered about that show, because, I was really familiar with the movie. And so I wasn't too familiar with the show, but when I got that part of The Wiz, and it had some great music, and I had 3 really great songs, it just really got me excited for it. So I was like, wow, this is really big.
What do you think GCP means to Fresno, or the Fresno area?
GCP is pretty much Fresno's Broadway. I know a lot of people, this is where when they come here, they talk about Roger Rockets and Good Company players and, going to experience live theater. I mean, it's a place to get away literally from everything. This is your time to get away from life and troubles and just go somewhere else, to another city, to another land for 2 hours and just forget about everything. This is a lifeline for a lot of people.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Christian. You really added a lot to the evening.
It was absolutely my pleasure. I was honored to get the call and honored to be back.
Thanks.
Pearl says, Audra doing Evita, Heidi Blickenstaff as Annie, Recently, Newsies, My Fair Lady. So many. I hope they return soon. Hard times, great memories.
Carly says GCP was my first theater home as a performer. And going back there, whether backstage or in the audience, still feels like going home. Thank you to all of the wonderful GCP folks for all you do. Hang in there. So many of us love you and miss you and can't wait to see you back on the other side of this pandemic.
Kathy has this to say: love GCP and all they have done for Fresno. And also a shout out to Donald Munro, who wrote a book about them. It's about more than a good show. It's a community.
Well, that wraps it up for this month's special episode of the Munro Review. A big thank you to my crew, Kyle and Ethan, and to all of the wonderful people at GCP who helped make this evening possible. Finally, for all of you, please keep exploring and supporting the local arts scene. We'll see you next time.